Welcome, Stefan. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you today?
Thank you, Michele. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Great. This is a conversation I was really looking forward to because I'm fan of what you guys are doing at Spendesk. So, first of all, if you can give us a short introduction of yourself, your background, and of course, as Spendesk as a platform.
Amazing. So thank you again, Michele, for this opportunity and for inviting me today. It's really a pleasure to be able to share with your to your ecosystem and for you the Spendesk journey. So very quickly, so I'm Stephane Dehaies. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Financial Services practice of Spendesk, so Spendesk Financial Services. I am originally from France, and I hope you will enjoy the French accent today.
Yeah.
I started my international career in the US, in New York, where I got my MBA, and I start to work in the financial services industry. So for the last 20 years, I've been working, moving from management consulting, transformation, with large financial institution, big banks, but also start to work on transformation journey, East Coast, West Coast. And I moved back to Europe, where I spent the last 20 years, mainly in the UK, but also in more than 13 countries in Europe. So I know a lot about the regulatory environment, specificity of the market, on different countries, from Nordics, from Southern Europe, of course, from France, Italy, Spain, Germany. So has been a long journey, but what I learned from this experience is, yes, it's a regulated business, but also bring opportunity. It brings now, with all this transformation, both regulatory, but also from technology, and also with the new way of working, a lot of opportunity for the business, fintech, of course, but also for non-fintech, non-financial institution. And I'm sure we'll talk about the embedded finance. And I joined Spendesk 18 months ago with a clear agenda about the transformation to build the new SFS Spendesk Financial Services business platform, to embark on new global partners. I'm sure we'll discuss about all this partnership, and also to develop a strong roadmap for our customers, to ensure that we'll be a strong partner for this journey, for the business.
Well, first of all, the first question that comes in my mind is how was that jump, from financial institutions, from big banks to what is actually a startup? So, at least in my experience, that is not always easy for professional in this space.
It's a very good question. When Spendesk called me, I was first fascinated about the fintech world. So I told you I've been in management consulting for the last 7 years. I was a partner for KPMG, and I had the opportunity to continue to work with big bank. And since the financial crisis in 2008, the transformation has been about regulatory, compliance, risk management, but also to protect the customer on the business. Okay. And that's what we learned from this financial crisis. But at the same time, regulator bring all this opportunity for new players. We're talking about the fintech, we are talking about the challenger bank, to transform and to get the future of the financial industry. So I've been passionate about this transformation. As I told you, I start my career in the US, so already looking about the technology a lot. So for me, it was a journey to learn about the fintech. So with our team at KPMG, we build a strong fintech practice, and I start to work with a lot of fintech. I met a lot of fintech, and I see the value from a customer perspective, but also from a bank and from a business perspective, to be more customer oriented, to think about customer experience, to work about product, what is the problem you have to solve, and how you can, yes, also adapt to this new world, where where real time is key, where security is key, where the speed of innovation is important. So I start to move more and more on the fintech world, and I got this opportunity to join Spendesk, and because I like to build, and I think that's a big difference when you and the speed of building things. It's the speed of transformation and change is just amazing. The capabilities, the knowledge you have in this organization, it's just amazing. So we build, we test, we adapt, and we bring all this innovation. You bring all the cloud capabilities, microservice capabilities. You have global payment partners who can accelerate this transformation. So for me, it was, wow, let's move from a very complicated bank financial institution, very I was passionate about what I did with the bank and with my colleagues in different banks, but to be more agile in a fintech, help you to solve the problem today of fintech, but tomorrow this will be also very important to help the bank, to support the bank to make this transformation. So the big change and after is also the way of working, where I learned, I think the reverse mentoring. I have a lot of experience in the fintech world. You have people who are first or second experience. So very important for me and very fascinating to have this reverse mentoring about the new tools, new ways of working. So it's a win-win relationship and I'm very happy with this experience.
I totally understand. I mean, but you know that is not always the case. I mean, at least in my experience, uh, I had the opportunity to work with a lot of former bankers that actually joined fintech startups or, less structured environments. And they don't always fit, because they are used to big operations or a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of formality or specific processes. And you know that, in fintech startups is not always the case. In order to be that agile and that to have that kind of speed, you from time to time, you also need to be a little bit less formal. You need to just, get things done and to move quicker. So it's not always the case, but it's very remarkable that you actually fit in so easily.
And maybe on this point, I think it was the vision of the founder and the investor. So when we start this discussion, I think it's a balance. When you start to grow, don't forget that Spendesk is a unicorn. We start to grow. So we are on 4 different markets. We
Mhm.
have to serve more than 3,000 companies in Europe. So we
Mhm.
start to be big. And you need to structures. Okay.
Mhm.
So it's a good balance to bring people who have more experience. And we'll discuss, we have also a license. We have a payment institution license. So we are regulated. So you need to bring experience. You need to have a good balance to be structured, to be organized. But at the same time, you need to keep also this agility
Yeah,
to bring new solution and new products. So I think that's a balance, and we can see
yeah,
now this trend also on a lot of fintech, and particularly companies who are going to IPO. You can see a lot of people coming from financial institution
yeah.
with a lot of experience to bring to the organization.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's talk a little bit about this kind of transformation because it's one of the most interesting that I saw recently in the market. So, Spendesk is a spend management platform, is a procurement platform. Uh, Now they want to shift to financial services. It's a transition that makes sense, at least in my opinion, because there are a lot of common points between the two kind of flows. But I would like to hear from your perspective, first of all, what you want to do, what you trying to achieve, and why do you think it makes sense for Spendesk to move in the fintech field?
So I think the question is what is our journey and who we are
Mm-hmm.
today, what is Spendesk? So today we are the European leader in spend management and procurement for SMB mid-market business in Europe. That's, we are also what we want to be. We want to be
Mm-hmm.
the new standard in terms of spend management, is a core business and procurement,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to bring all the intelligence and capability at work
Mm-hmm.
by digitizing all key workflow, including payment workflow, new procurement workflow, all account payable. So this is part of our all-in solutions. The payment was a pain point for our model. So what we decided is to take the ownership of this pain point for different reasons: customer experience, for more agility, more innovation, also for the robustness of the platform, which is
Mm-hmm.
critical when you want to scale. So we make this decision not to be to move from spend management procurement to a fintech. We want to be the best on spend management, procurement, and bring the best of our payment capability with a regulated entity with Spendesk Financial Services. So it's an all-in solution for the customer that's also bring a lot of simplification, a lot of efficiency in terms of real time, in terms of cost, of course, and also in terms of customer experience for core business, as I said, with SMB, mid-market, very focused on the financial organization, CFO, accounting, treasury department. So that's critical to bring all these services to make the CFO cockpit the more efficient for our customers. Um, we are in terms of culture, we are a SaaS. We are the first European SaaS solution for who are full integrated procurement, spend management, and payment financial
Mm-hmm.
services today. We bring all the capability in terms of payments, smart corporate card, both physical, digital. We bring all the wallet solution, and we'll discuss about innovation also. And that's what is important. It's one organization. One is regulated, is a financial services. One is coming from the SaaS. So that's why we need to have also this governance to deliver the best at the end for the customer and try to impact the market and this industry.
So just for me to understand, so basically the financial service company is actually providing the service to Spendesk as a platform. So there are two different
Yes.
entities, basically.
Yes, to be clear. So
Okay.
we have one organization, the SaaS, SaaS with the spend management
The
procurement
platform
business,
that
which is SaaS
everyone knows,
organization.
basically. Yeah.
No, everyone knows. And we have a second institution, Spendesk Financial Services, with it can be what we can see in this market like the internal bus. Okay, we used to be like a lot of providers of spend management. We used to work with BaaS solution, but we decided to have a different journey. Maybe to give you some number key figure to understand what we have to manage and why we build this platform, a payment institution platform with a license to operate in Europe, but also a BaaS solution for the UK market. But let's talk about some numbers. So key figure today, in terms of cumulative spend, based on the payable from your customer, we already securely transacted more than 30 billion spent for a customer.
Wow.
So 30 billion, okay? Powered by our in-house platform. And when I say in-house platform, it's not one, but it's three platform. Today, we have three platform. One in Europe, this is the platform SFS, Spendesk Financial Services, who is fully regulated. We are a payment institution. We have a second platform because we don't have the license in the UK. We have a BaaS platform, and we have a new partners, ADN UK, who is moving to the issuing and banking industry, and we migrate our UK customer to this new platform. And we are also another partnership in the US to serve our European customer who have branches, some activities, and to be able to issue card and business in the US. And we work with partners like Marketa US to deliver these services. Okay, so this is the all-in SFS platform and environment. We have four hubs, okay? Four hubs in Europe, Paris, London, Berlin, and in Spain, to serve the customer, to serve the market, and to develop the commercial activity. We have more than 3,000 logos in more than 35 countries today. We serve more than 3,000 logos, but what does it mean? It's more than 200,000 customers, okay? It's 3,000 logos. We are talking about mid-market, SMB. So today we serve more than 200,000 customers. In the past, if you look in the past, we used to work with one partner, one BaaS for all this business in Europe, in the UK. And we make this decision to create this platform. The founders, he has a vision. He understood that embedded finance was coming, that more solution will come in terms of financial services. And we also realized that there is other advantage to have your platform. Okay, the first one is the customer experience, because we have a SaaS. We are coming from spend management, procurement, and the end-to-end process. At the end, there is a payment flow.
Yeah.
And if you want to have the best customer experience, you need to take the ownership on this last step of the process end to end. Okay. So you bring a better customer experience, you embed your solution on your spend management platform. So it was the first criteria. Second one, it was the robustness and the capability and the scalability of the platform. We consider that it was for us important to change of the legacy to be able to scale. We are in a growth journey, and in this business, if you don't have the platform capabilities, knowledge, and asset, that's an issue. So we decided to take the ownership on this asset. The third one was innovation. Bring innovation to the customer. Okay, the payment industry change every week. There is new product, embedded finance. There is new digitalization with wallet. We can tokenize. We can have virtual card and to have tokenized payment. And I'm talking about B2B solutions. So the innovation is this agility was very important for us to develop this new product. So same thing to get your platform. We have the team. We have a very, very impressive capabilities and intelligence on your product and engineering data team. So it was for us also the opportunity to bring solutions, specific use case for our customers. And the next one for me, it was also to start to work with global partners. We want to be a global company and to expand. We are a fintech. We are today we are for hub in Europe, but to learn to grow in this business, you need to work with the best, and that's why we decided to change also some partnership and to work with global players. And for the payment, I gave you already some name, but for the UK, we work with Adyen. We work with Adyen to issue a card and to manage the account of our customers and to manage the payment payment processing. But we have, as you know, also, Michele, we start European agreement, a partnership with Wise, because we want also for customers who are more and more global to bring international payment capabilities. We work with Marketa in Europe for issuing also our payments. So all these global partners should bring also to help us to grow and to be able to extend our footprint, to extend our the innovation agenda in the future on the payment side.
Yeah, there are many interesting topics that you just mentioned. So I'm not sure for which one of them to start, but I would like to start from the last one that you mentioned. So international payments has always been one of the main pain points in this industry. It's not easy to move money around the world. It's not. First of all, it's not cheap. Second point is not easy. It's very hard to find someone that is actually able to handle all the use cases from EU, US, but also having local IBAN, having account in different currencies, having instant transfer. So that is one of the major pain point when it comes to payment internationally. You said you've been working with Wise, but I would like to understand how you're trying to handle those kind of things, because you're building a hub where it's actually able to manage the flow end to end. So are you also able to handle the payment end to end so that you don't need to do international payments, or you still need a partner to do that?
We are working with Wise. So and when I say Wise, it's Wise platform. Today we start to talk about embedded finance. Let's come back to what is the problem we want to solve for the customer. Our customer, they have invoice and they have to do accounts payable. So all our customer bring their invoice on the platform. They manage the spend management, procurement. But one of the issue was after, what's next? So it can be a SEPA in Europe. You can pay with your cards some on the invoice, but we don't manage all the flow. And for the customer, it's a pain point. Why? Because they have to go to another platform, exit, to go to a bank, potential another payment platform. And it was a strong ask for a customer to have this end-to-end capabilities from spend management, invoice, account payable to go to the payment and international payment. And what you say, Michele, is it's a very complicated business. I used to manage in a bank. This is highly regulated. This is you have domestic specificities on the payment. There is a lot of risk also in the payment. We know about fraud. We know about also incidents on the platform. There is so many stakeholders in one payment. It can be a highly risk business. So that's why we decided to learn and to work with a global leaders. So we had a very our partnership team did an amazing work to make selection. We made different partners and very good one. We had some criteria and we chose Wise platform, but in this business you can find a very good partner for making it happen. We make this choice for different reasons. First one is a track record. Okay, they did already. They offer this capability to business who are very close from our ICP market, SMB mid-market. The footprint, as in today, we will serve more than 30 countries. Okay, we are the main country for customers. So it was very important to have a footprint to be able to do this cross-border international payment. They bring also this agility in terms of project, in terms of leadership. They know we want to be agile. We want to address the market very quickly. We want to bring solution. So, and we want to have their capabilities to expand also on different regions. So that's why all this choice was very important. We have been we spend a lot of time to really explain what is a pain point, how we want to embed their capabilities in our system. This is an embedded finance payment solution. Our customer will go to the Spendesk platform. They will manage their invoice and account payable, and they will decide to make their payment. In Europe, they will use the data because we own the data of our customer from a KYC. We will use all this information. In the UK, customer will have to update some information because we will use the Wise UK platform. and license in the UK. So that's all this topic who give us the opportunity to answer your question, to serve our customer on 30 today, maybe more tomorrow, but today we will start with 30 countries to be able to make this cross-border payment fast for the customer, real time. What does it mean? It's a better way to manage their cash flow, given visibility also on how they manage all their capital requirement they have to manage with the treasury team, and also the price. Wise offer for the customers, a very good price in terms of payment. So that's also on the current economic context, a way to optimize your costs, to be more efficient, real-time information, secure platform. And that's a key criteria for us who has been very, very important.
When you talk about the price, you mean the exchange rate in that case, or you
Yes,
mean
exchange rate, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
exchange rate.
No,
Yes.
that's actually very interesting. I was thinking about the embedded finance part that you were mentioning. So, given the fact that you are working between EU, UK, and US, did you saw any kind of advantage for you being in Europe? You know, being under PSD2, European banking and open banking in Europe, compared, for example, to the UK or the US? Because I always thought that we kind of opened the market under that point of view. Maybe the UK did a little bit better than us. But also, for example, the comparison between the UK between the US is very hard, is very high under that point of view. So, do you think that we have an advantage under that point of view for embedded finance solution?
I think that's an advantage. Of course that's an advantage because it's open new opportunity. Open banking, PSD2 has been the opportunity for all these players of the fintech payment domain to work with like a financial institution. Don't forget, in the past, the bank, global payment platform, was the only one to have the red tape from a regulatory perspective to make business. So this change, for me, this regulatory change will open the opportunity for innovation, new player. And what I always repeat at the end is for the benefits of the customer. It's for your benefits, Michele, and for the benefits of the company to have new solution, cheaper, secure, faster, to manage your business, to manage your day-to-day life. So for me, I see it as an opportunity for not only for a company, but more important at the end, this is a customer. And when I say customer, this is personal, but also corporate, mid-market business. So yes. Second one, it's very complicated because that's new. And because we touch different topics from a regulatory about the data privacy, GDPR at the same time. So that's why it's very important to have capabilities from a compliance, from a legal team, to manage all the constraints, to transform this change into an opportunity. So it's not only to build a financial product, but it's also to think what's the problem we want to solve. This is a regulatory environment. How we can use this PSD2 opportunity. There is some solution today with working. We need to improve. And I think the move we will get with PSD3 is to give the next step in terms of, let's go further. We learned from the previous one, but it's definitely an opportunity. The issue we have maybe to manage, it's, as you said, this is quite different if you go from in the UK market in terms of, customer duties, the way you can use data, the way you can work with the bank. Even in the UK, there we can see a lot of new partnership between bank and fintech with this change. And I think it's faster in UK if I look versus European EA market, because there is a concentration of innovation between fintech, financial services industry, and the regulators to make it happen. Okay, so it's faster. In the US, it's a different market. It's very complicated. That's why we are definitely less mature, and that's why we work with partners, because the regulatory environment, the use of data, and the use case are quite different. So, so that's why also to go global, that means you need to make choice, because you cannot develop priorities, change a new product everywhere, and that's why partnership is very important for us to learn.
Yeah, that is a critical point, I think. Having the right partner in the right geographies is one of the most important things, you cannot think of knowing everything everywhere at the same time. You need to have people in place with the right knowledge and with the right experience to actually do that. So I strongly agree on this one. Let me make a step back to one of the first points that you touched about payments. So you said that one of the major topic here is actually to handle the flow hand to hand, and obviously the last part of that flow is the payment for the service or the product that you procure. So how do you actually see the payment side? Because we are in a moment in the market where we are seeing a lot of innovation under the payment point of view. We are seeing stable coins coming to the fintech market a lot. We are seeing, AI agents doing payments. We are seeing a lot, the kind of provider that you saw in the last couple of years, Stripe, Adyen, many of them. So
Yeah,
how do you actually see the payment segment in the fintech market at the moment?
I think if you look on the last Pulse of Fintech by KPMG or last report from, I think it was from JP Morgan and BCG, we
Mm,
can see the payment as a strong domain. Why? Because we can
yeah.
see from a banking fintech perspective, but think about the non-financial company. They all
Hmm.
discover that today that's a lever for growth and for profitability because all this flow they used to manage with partners, banking, payment institution, now they can take ownership, they can develop their own use case, they can improve the customer experience. So for me, based on the usage, based on the level of maturity we have from non-financial and financial companies, it will
Hmm.
continue to grow. And if we look the number of all the consulting company, we can see this growth is still here for a couple of years. If I want to go back specifically on more on the B2B payment with our scope,
Hmm.
I can see three significant trends, short term, medium term. First, it will get smarter. Why? Because we can see the product. I was talking, we know about physical card, how to issue a card, to
Yeah.
use it as a plastic card, but we can see a lot of new case in terms of virtual card using tokenization payment to transform the payment for people who are mobile or who are traveling, who need to get an advance. So we can see a lot of new case by vertical who will continue to bring innovation. We can see a lot of automation. I think one of the
Mm.
key challenge for payments is automation. With example of account payables, when you have to reimburse customer, we need all as a player to streamline of our business payment process for the benefits of the customer and to protect the customers. That's the first one. Take the example of reconciliation. All the manual tasks we have to do for the payment, for accounting
Yeah.
department, for the finance department. So all this automation is critical because we need to streamline this process to let the finance team focus on what is important at the end of the day is to manage the cash flow and manage the growth of the company. So if we can bring with all this innovation on payment, and we'll discuss about AI in terms of automation, will be a massive transformation for all the business. Real time. Everyone is not only you for your day to day, but company need to get real time payment now. They have to
Hmm.
optimize the cash flow. They have to sometimes to pay some independent staff instantly because they are traveling, they are working on a project across the channel, for example. So
Yeah.
payment is more and more important, and with the technology and platform, and we discuss about Adyen, for example, yes, who help us all these global players will help us to be more in real time. And we know with the regulatory also requirements, in terms of instant payment, this will accelerate this transformation. We need to eliminate the delay also for suppliers.
Mm.
Back to our core business, SMB, mid-market, I think all this delay for payment has been an issue for years. So the
Yeah.
payment is a key actors to help this market, mid-market business to grow and to eliminate all this delay friction they can have with the supplier and payment. And of course, at the end, also to improve your worker satisfaction. When you manage the spend of your customer, when you travel, you have to go to the US, when you have to go to Germany for a meeting. You don't have to advance and to pay and to wait one month to be reimbursed. All this solution bring real time solution. And I think the other point in terms of innovation and focus on the payment, we will see more and more collaboration with stakeholders. If we look on the UK, I can see a lot of initiative where the bank really start to work with fintech. They
Mm.
learn about the BaaS. We can see some player moving, bank moving to
Yeah.
BaaS solution. We can see some player moving to specific use case in terms of non-core financial services, but to bring management solution, spend management solution, procurement, because that's also the way they help their customer and they learn about the customer. And don't forget also that also the data for them to manage, to better understand the risk of their customer, but also to help their customer for some lending, credit solution when they have to invest. So we can see this move also in terms of partnership, global payment players, bank, and the fintech who bring all this innovation. So that
Hmm.
for me is the next key step in terms of innovation very focused on B2B for SMB and mid-market on the B2B payment.
Yeah, I think that being in this industry for a while now, I can see that kind of shift from a mental perspective in the head of the banks, basically. So, like for example, in the first 2016, we still saw many defensive act from banks, that they were trying to defend their position from fintechs. But I think that right now that period of time has passed, and I think that right now they really want to cooperate with fintechs. They really understand the kind of advantage, the kind of opportunity. So I think that we are in a very different period of time. So I strongly agree on this one. I would like to deep dive on a point that you mentioned. So you said that you are collaborating with different payment providers globally, Indian ones and many others. Do you see maybe in the future more local players in terms of payments, or very big institution, being very global? Because I think that there are a lot of companies being born today that are trying to handle payments from a local perspective that maybe will grow in the future, but we don't know. And there are a couple of champions that are global already. But where do you see the market going, from a more in the local direction or more in the global direction? Because it's a complex market right now.
It's a very complex for three reasons. First, regulatory environment. Okay,
Yeah.
we know that the regulatory in Europe, in the UK, or in the US is different. So you need to take into account the regulatory environment. First one. Second one is the usage. If you go to the UK, not this country, these countries are very digitalized by culture. So when we think solution, you think about digitalization. Okay.
Yeah.
In Europe, depends of the region, you are still thinking about, yes, how I can change my process, maybe by change management, or maybe to review, streamline some process, but you don't always think about digitalization because it's a question of culture for some CXO. I'm talking about SMB mid market, but because also the way the awareness of training was been done in some country for people in school, university. So it's a question also how people are reactive, how they use digitalization as a solution, and tomorrow is more than digitalization, c'est how they will use data and intelligence artificial to solve their problem. But that's another topic. That's the second reason. The third one, and to come back to the current economic and political environment, we are in a very vulnerable, volatile, uncertain environment. Okay, what does it mean today? There is some we can see, and we all need to assess this change. Okay, what will be tomorrow the new way of working for company globally, because the rules can change. We can see this last week. There is a lot of impact for technology. There is a lot of impact for specific business in terms of in terms of decision was been made in some countries. So it's also you need to be proactive, and we need to assess this risk, or at least this change, on a permanent basis. I think that's what we changed from the last maybe 5 years post-COVID. Now we know we are in a world or the rules can change very quickly and very often.
Yeah.
So we need to get this agility, and the payment will be the same. If I go global, what does it mean? Because global will be different model, depends of the constraint, regulatory, political, economic, tariff, trade tariff, as big topic now. So it will depend also of this political change, macroeconomic change. Don't forget, we are still also on an environment where inflation has been a big issue. We can see now the rates, the rate also decreasing now, and on some of the region, mainly in Europe. It's more stabilized in the UK, but we need to consider also this macroeconomic shift and financing capability, because it will impact the way also we can invest tomorrow in certain region or for company to invest in innovation for the payment. So all these criteria should be assessed. But
So
what does it
your
mean
point.
also, Michele? I can see also opportunity for consolidation. That's why
Yeah,
when you say
I totally agree on this one. So your point is that it's not just a technical topic. Is also influenced by politics. Is also influenced by many different factors that need to be taken into consideration. Regulation is one of them, for example. So I agree on this topic. I think that is one of the main, let's say, pain point in the payment industry. The fact that they are not exactly independent from everything else. There are many industry out there where you can actually try to innovate in many directions without anyone telling you not to do something. But payment is not one of them, because there's a strong regulation, strong bias on other stakeholders. So it's actually a good point. Maybe a question that I wanted to ask you. I think that you are in a very good position to actually have a point of view on the fintech market, because you're coming from the big financial corporate, big and highly regulated environment, but you also have the experience of working in a startup, seeing the fintech market from the other side. So you have both experience at the same side at the same time. What's your perspective on the market right now? So we are coming out of two very, very bad years in terms of decline, in terms of investment, in terms of, let's say, very bad period for startups and everything else in the fintech market. But we are seeing a little bit the light at the end of the tunnel. And we have many innovation coming from them into the market, many opportunities. So what's your opinion on the actual status of the fintech market, and maybe which are the trends that you are following, the things that you expect to see in the market in the upcoming future?
Yes, it's a good question, Michele, because I think this journey has been a wow. It's
Yeah,
like has been quite intense, and particularly for the people who build this high growth. Don't forget, this has been the
yeah,
last since during the COVID, post-COVID, has been a high
yeah,
growth agenda for most of the fintech. First, it brings a lot of innovation to all company to change their way of working, to bring more digitalization on their process, and that's what we want to bring as a Spendesk for core business, for the SMB mid market, very focused on financial on the spend management and procurement. So it helps company first. It helps a lot of company to change. Behind, what does it mean? The investors, don't forget, we were in an environment where it was low interest rates. It was
yeah,
quite easy to finance project, and everyone see the opportunity to invest when you are in a low interest environment. You investor used to
cash
have
is
a
free
lot of
basically.
cash. It was cash is free, and also because when you look in terms of, yes, what do I do with my cash as investor? It was high growth opportunity, and to bring and to bring and to bring solution for the future. What changed now for the last maybe 2 years? First, is not free. Cash is not free. It costs. As I said, the interest rate, the central bank increased the interest rate to protect mainly against the inflation due to all the macroeconomic change and political change in the world. And also the way of evaluating the performances in this company. Now, what is critical is profitability and sustainable growth. On every fintech company, you are looking, this is your two key KPI or two key objective, is to demonstrate demonstrate you can be profitable, okay, and you can manage at the same time sustainable growth. And that's what I say. That's now a new journey, but also help this industry to improve, okay,
Yeah,
to be focused on. Do I make the right investment? Do I ask the key question? Do I develop the proper solution for our customers? And to be focused on what is important to your business model. So I think for me, that's an opportunity for the fintech to grow differently and to be a company. Don't forget, fintech at the end is still a business. It's still a company. So for me,
yeah,
it can be painful for some company who are not ready. Okay. At Spendesk today, we are making a lot of change from a governance, new profile who bring all this experience. The investor are highly involved on this discussion with us, and for us, it brings a lot of value because collectively we are learning and we are preparing the future. What we want is to be a sustainable company, like every company. That's my message. We are fintech, innovation, but at the end, we are a business. We need to be profitable and we need to develop sustainable growth. And that helps you to be very focused on what is important for your business, for your customers, and to start to bring some process to come back to your question. When you have experience coming from big organization, consulting, and you bring some experience who now you can see the need on the fintech industry. So that's the first one. What is the light in front of us? I would say that for company will be able to manage this uncertainty, to adapt very quickly. There is a lot of opportunity because the cost of working, the way of working, the new rules, political, economic, we can anticipate in the future. Company will look for more efficiency, to bring more innovation, go-to-market should improve, the different way of working on different geography. You need to be more digitalized, you be more efficient. And that's what we want to do, at least at our level, Spendesk, for the finance function, to bring all this innovation, digitalization to help to growth, to be profitable for their business, and but to help them to expand. So has been a journey, has been a cycle. This is up and down. Now we are, I see the light in front of us. You just need to get this agility to adapt on the external environment and to be focused, very focused on what you are doing, to have a clear roadmap and objective you share with your team, you share with your investors, and deliver the best for your customers.
Maybe one last question from my side. You mentioned artificial intelligence a couple of times. How are you actually using that internally? If you are, of course.
That's a good. No, we are using, and I had this discussion. We are using from the beginning. If you look at OCR, we are spend management company. When you have an expense, you take OCR solution, picture all the data, it's intelligence artificial. So we are using our senior management team investor ask us to invest a lot on AI. So we are now partnering with Dust to embed the AI on every department of Spendesk. So every department, we have a hackathon this last today, for example, where our product engineering team, data, with functional team work on what are the solutions, how we can bring a better customer services, how we can bring a more efficient AML, KYC control in the organization to be more efficient on financial process. But we are looking for all projects. We embed AI as a potential solution, partial. It will never be a total solution for one process, but we embed these capabilities, this opportunity in everything we do for our own process, but more important for the product, for the process with the customers, and also for all regulatory process. As you know, one of the complexity to go back to the payment financial services industry, we have requirement in terms of KYC, how we onboard your client, to do all the customer due diligence, to all the life cycle event check we need to do. We have also all the AML transaction control. We are a growing company. As I said, we manage more than 30 billion transactions with our in-house platform from the beginning. It's huge. We are managing today, we will, with the new platform, 1 billion card transaction this year. So 1 billion. So it's a lot of data. A lot of data we need to check, to control, but a lot of data we can use also to bring more value tomorrow for the customer and the business. So it's fully embedded on the DNA of the company, on Spendesk and Spendesk Financial Services.
Great. Stephane, it was a very, very interesting conversation. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. It was a pleasure having you, and thank you again.
Thank you, Michele.
It was a pleasure. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.